You've reached Gloria with Farmstead Talk, and I'm here today with Roman with DeerPark Farmstead, and he's representing his state of Washington today in this homesteading interview. Welcome, Roman, and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Gloria. Hope
Yeah,
you're doing
no
well.
problem. It's a pleasure. So can you tell me a little, first of all, would you like to share with the audience where they can find you on social media?
Yes, very good. So I'm on YouTube, DeerPark Farmstead, and also Instagram. And I just joined Twitter, so just join that so you can reach me if you have any questions on either of those, Instagram or Twitter.
Okay, great. Okay, Roman, if you would tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're currently living, and a little bit about your family makeup.
Yes, very good. So we live in DeerPark, Washington, which is just 30 minutes away from Spokane, which is the second largest city in Washington. And we're on 6 acres. I have a wife and a 7-year-old son, almost about to turn 8.
Okay. So tell me, I know you used to live in Las Vegas, Nevada. So what brought you out to Washington?
Oh, well, mainly the schools brought us out here. Water was a big thing. Being in Las Vegas, they're getting a bad water shortage now. They're draining everything. All their surpluses are just going down. So it's not a sustainable place to live. And so I wanted to find some place that had plenty of water. We're on a well, so.
Yeah, and definitely water is the life source for anybody, especially on a homestead.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about your property and what does that property look like, and a little bit about your community where you're living.
Yes, it's got about 2,400, go kind of on the upper end of 2,400, almost 2,500 people as far as population in Deer Park, Washington.
Okay.
And also the layout is 6 acres, so it's pretty long, but the first 2 acres are pretty clear. We could do a lot of stuff with it. We already put a 1/4 acre plot for the garden. It's a nice square plot that I'm working with. I have a caterpillar tunnel, a 50-foot caterpillar tunnel in there, as well as more rows. We have beds in there as well. So it works out well right now the way it's working. We don't want to cut out too many trees. I love the forest towards the back of it, but we do need to thin it out a little bit.
Is it like rolling land, or is it more pasture land?
It's pretty rolling. It's wooded. I would consider it a wooded plot. So
okay. So then you have, did the space for your gardens, did you have to clear that out, or was it already cleared by the time you came?
It was already clear, but I have a tractor I bought, and I use the tractor to skim the surface and make the preparation for the beds. I use a no-till, no-dig method.
Okay. So Roman, tell me what your inspiration was for living the homestead lifestyle.
Well, it was starting out with my health. I really wanted to get more benefit out of what I was growing. So it just started kind of small. I just grew a couple plants. And it was a lot of people on YouTube. I was watching a lot of YouTube, and John Koeller was number 1 that I was watching. And, I wanted to find people that were local in my area and how they were growing, using their methods. And so John Koeller right away was the spawn of this, thing. And then it went from there to Curtis Stone, Market Gardner, and then Justin Rhodes.
Okay. What do you think so let me ask you this. So where were you? You're not a native of Washington. Where were you born?
In Southern California.
Okay.
Right in between Orange County and LA county. So I had the best of both worlds. You know, we can go to Hollywood and then we can go to the beach in Huntington.
Nice.
It was great.
Yeah. So what do you think that your lifestyle would have been, or where would your life been today if you never indulged in this lifestyle of homesteading?
Yes. I mean, I worked in corporate. I was a corporate guy, you know, I wore a suit every day. So it just completely changed everything, how my everyday patterns went. So I would have definitely been in the corporate world along with my wife. And, you know, we're just paying a lot of money for our son to go to school. And it was just so much money just to live that way. And we just figured there's had to have been a better way to incorporate our health and of course get our son a good education and a sustainable lifestyle that can sustain for centuries, you know, with him. You know, we just want him to have a better life,
right,
better future.
Right. How does it feel when now that you're actually living this lifestyle and living, I know you went from California to Las Vegas and tried farming there and now farming in Washington. What does that experience feel like to you?
Oh, it's amazing. And it's ever learning. You know, you can't say that I perfected this, but I just want to keep learning. And now that I've opened up this treasure trove, I feel like there's just so much to gain from it. So I keep learning. It's just, I'm a sponge when it comes to this. Gardening, everything is just so much knowledge and just a variety of things that I never thought that I would have to learn and incorporate into my daily life here.
Yeah. So does it feel better living this lifestyle than it does than the corporate world?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. You know, I'm my own boss now, so
sometimes we have to work harder, but the freedom of it all is really wonderful. Not to mention all the other benefits too.
Yeah, you get so much out of it, you know, so much benefit out of it, and self, you know, gratification.
Yeah. So what kind of animals do you have right now?
We currently have chickens, turkeys, and pigs. We just got rid of our ducks. They were just a little bit more of a handful than we wanted at this time. We may go back to them, but right now ducks just aren't for us. We even got rid of our cats.
What was the biggest learning curve, would you say, out of all the animals that you have or had?
Well, I would say currently the turkeys are definitely a little bit more of a learning curve. They just require a little bit more of attention that, you know, I didn't anticipate. So they're just a lot more to take care of. The chickens are so much easier, but, you know, they tend to injure themselves. We're constantly nursing these chickens as well, with their legs and their little feet. The other day we had 2 chickens we were nursing, but still it seems like the turkeys are a little bit more difficult. Okay. Pigs are easy.
So what growing zone are you in?
We're in 6B here.
And what is your growing time, your growing season? How long is that?
So in the ground, when you direct seed, I direct seed a lot. So I would say about 6 months. And then, but we do like 2 months prior, we seed inside. I have a grow rack that I built with lights on it. So a total of 8 months with the grow rack.
Okay. And what type of gardening methods are you utilizing right now?
Yes, no till, no dig method, a market garden style. It's a lot of work, but, you know, in the beginning, as long as you plan it out right and you do these methods properly, you're going to gain a whole bunch more. You know, it's less maintenance. The weeds are a lot lower with the methods I use.
So when you first started the first year with these methods, was it difficult to start? And what is it like compared to regular traditional gardens? Just to share with the audience.
Yes, to prep these beds, it's a lot of work. It's all manual work. So I don't use any tillers. I don't use any motorized things. I'm using a fork and a shovel, and what you see, like sometimes on the baseball fields, those flat rakes are really long, so I have to flatten those out. So there's a lot of prep, and I like to utilize fresh compost too. Really good organic compost. That's the key right there. And if you can add some amendments, absolutely, worm castings are great.
So in the spring then, when you're not doing any tilling or anything, are you just throwing your compost right on top and then just seeding right into it?
That's correct. So I lay the compost on like a pillow, and I'll just flatten it out. And with all the water, it just kind of seeps in, because with that fork, you're creating aeration, and it's just seeping into the ground, giving nutrition to the micro.
Are you using when you say a fork, are you talking about a broad fork?
I'm not using a broad fork. I'm using a digging fork. So it looks like a pitchfork, but yeah, I'm currently using a digging fork. I'd like to go towards a broad fork eventually, though.
So what would you say would be your biggest successes in the garden to date?
Well, this last season, I would say our vertical tomatoes did really well. There was a little maintenance involved to get it to where it was at, but once we got everything lined up perfectly, thinned out properly, and using the trellis system inside my tunnel, they worked out great. I just kept bringing them up, and they kept growing, and I would cut off the bottom parts, and it was it's a lot of work, but the yield was great.
Okay. And on the flip side of that, what is the biggest challenges that you faced?
Well, we had cantaloupe, and I'll never do that again. I don't know, some cantaloupes, I guess, do well, but our cantaloupe was just sitting there and taking forever. So it was wasting bed space. I could have thrown in another crop. And so I don't think I'm going to do cantaloupe. It's a learning thing all the time. So
it is. Yeah. You don't know until you try, right?
Absolutely.
Change the subject. You have interviewed with John Koeller and Justin Rhodes on the Great American Farm Tour. What was that experience like for you?
Amazing. They're both amazing people, but they both contribute in their own different way, which is great. They're both strengths in their own different way. John is so passionate. It's crazy how passionate he is. When I saw him do the Curtis Stone interview, he literally cried, and he wants everybody to learn from what people are doing. And I just love his passion. That drove me immensely right there, just watching that interview, and hence why I started my market garden. When it came to Justin, though, he was pretty business. He was on the Great American Farm Tour, and that was really cool, watching the business side of it and trying to emulate that kind of YouTube and all that social media. So that was cool too. John was just more about gardening and learning on that end.
That must have been amazing for you.
Oh, it was awesome. And meeting Justin's father, Boots, I was one of the only people that got to meet him on the Great American Farm Tour. So that was a big moment for me, because I really liked watching Boots on the Great American Farm Tour. I told Justin too. I said, I really like the way you have added your father on this, and then to meet him on top of it was awesome.
Very cool. What about spirituality or religion? Does that play a role in your homesteading journey at all?
No, Not right now.
Okay. Just curious. Some people, are very religious people or spiritual people and say, yeah, I turn to God or whoever, the sky or Mother Earth, and, that really helps us in our journey. Some people will say absolutely not. Just.
I grew up Catholic,
Mhm.
so, I did a lot of Catholicism, so growing up in California, but I haven't really done that much. We really don't have much time. We're so busy.
The best thing that has happened or the best experience that you would say you've had homesteading in Washington?
I would say uh, one of the best experiences is the moose here in town. The moose, we had no idea they were even here in this part of town. And all of a sudden, they're within 15 feet of our house, and we're just watching them outside of our window, and we were stunned. So, just yesterday, I had 2 bull moose, huge, just go right through our property. They're just beautiful, majestic animals, and it's really neat to be one with them and in being in their environment.
Wow. That must be amazing.
Oh my God, we love it. We love being with them, and they love the snow. So now's the time when they come out. It's snowing right now as we speak. Right now, it's all around me. So this is when we see them. We don't see them in the spring, summer, and fall. We just see them in the winter.
Wow. What beautiful creatures they are.
They are. Oh gosh, just beautiful, gorgeous.
So we're getting ready to wrap up. If you could sum up your experience in one word, what homesteading has meant to you, what would that word be?
Paradise. Just heavenly paradise is just, we love it.
Very nice. Okay, Roman, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me on this interview today.
Thanks again for having me, Gloria. I wish you
Yeah,
well.
no problem. It was a great pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you.